gets better, it gets better in time. You say I pull myself together, pull it together, you'll be fine.
Two separate task forces, but one national problem in universities and sexual assault. Worse, nobody's satisfied with the outcome. People who are purported to be victims sue because they don't think the university did enough. And people that are purported to be the perpetrator are suing because they don't think their rights have been appreciated. Makes for a very, very tricky topic.
No one likes talking about sexual assault. There are reasons why it's swept under the rug, especially on college campuses, by students and administration alike. It's an uncomfortable, sinister subject from the underground of society that no one wants to broach. In recent years, campus sexual assault has become a major point of contention for colleges in the U.S., who are increasingly held responsible for crimes on their campuses.
Asian fraternity, I think, was also there. And so you're basically just at this regular party, hanging out, didn't really do much. There wasn't really a lot of drinking involved. Like maybe a glass of wine and like a shot of vodka is all that I had.
Yeah.
And like suddenly, I don't remember anything. Like I suddenly just blacked out. And looking back at the timeline, so basically what happened is that I was drugged. So I probably really woke up at like 10 or 11 is when I actually woke up, like consciously was like, okay, I'm awake. After I was like, something's wrong. Something's not right. Like, you kind of just know when something bad has happened to you, even if you haven't quite recalled it.
Penn State is making the big changes because right now leaders say there may be no more high-profile issue in higher education than sexual misconduct.
Instead, the enduring damage to the lives of
the task force presentation showed Penn State could do better when it comes to handling sexual misconduct.
While Penn State has recently received criticisms in regards to its response to sexual assault, the recently inaugurated President Barron has made it clear that under his administration, there will be a renewed effort to modernize Penn State's response to sexual assault on campus. One of those efforts included increased confidentiality measures across medical professionals, but the new mandates also increased the university administration's responsibility to report misconduct when it occurs.
We're going to bring in a doctor, you have options here and here, these are your options, you can do this. And we're going to bring in a police officer. And I was like, no, please don't call the cops. The only reason I'm here is to make sure that I'm physically okay. I don't want to talk to the police. I really, really don't. I don't call them. And they're like, we have to. But it wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. Of course, the guy that they brought in was a guy. They didn't bring in a girl, which was, naturally. And they also bring in a woman. And they come in to be an advocate for you, and that you have somebody in the room who is not the doctor, not the police officer, just there for you.
The Centre County Women's Resource Center is an off-campus organization that provides services to those who have experienced domestic or dating violence. The CCWRC provides a full range of emergency services, including hotline crisis intervention, individual and group support counseling, legal and medical advocacy, and extensive prevention programming in local schools, at Penn State, and in the community. Resources also exist on campus for victims of sexual assault. The Center for Women Students aims to assist students through education, advocacy, referrals, and crisis intervention.
So my name is Jennifer Pensick, and I am one of the programming coordinators here at the Center for Women Students.
So the center is your on-campus resource center for all students. So regardless of your gender, we help
all students who are in crisis dealing with issues like, the aftermath of sexual assault, relationship violence, body image, any issue that impacts students. We have counselors and advocates here who can meet with students to provide free and confidential services. And then we can also advocate for students on their behalf. So if they need accommodations made inside the classroom, or they need, trauma drops, things along those lines. You're never going to prevent every sexual assault. So you are always going to, I think you're always going to have sexual assault, unfortunately. Because really the blame needs to be on, perpetrators.
Right.
But I think, everyone just needs to continue doing what they're doing and just not give up. Because it can be really frustrating when you still see that there are, a lot of sexual assaults happening.
Right.
Or people don't know what who you are, like what, work you do. So I think just the more that you can do the ongoing programming and be as visible as possible, that can be for the best, but you need, a lot of buy-in. You need students to buy into the message too. So like when students are out or they're at parties, you want things to kind of kick in really quick.
I actually had a friend who was sexually assaulted when I was a freshman, so 2 years ago, and she tried to report it to the campus police, and they just kept telling her, "You're lying, you're a liar, stop lying. If you keep on saying that you were raped, we're going to press charges against you." And so eventually she just dropped it.
I always marvel at the fact that the acts of individuals can somehow have an impact on an entire institution or an entire set of organizations. And, I personally do not think that that's appropriate. And as a matter of fact, I think that if you punish those that are responsible, we all learn. And if we punish everybody, then I don't think we really all learned. And so let's focus on punishing those that are responsible as the key element that's a preventative element to make sure this type of thing does not occur.
I think there's a lot of people who want to help, but the system is not conducive to helping. So there's good people in the system who truly do want to help you, but the system does not allow them to do that. The thing with Penn State is that, especially after Sandusky, they don't want to admit that they have a problem. Yeah. And it's easier for them to hide it under the rug, and just kind of push women or men to the side and say this didn't happen than it is to actually address a problem. So it's easier to tell people that things didn't happen and make them not want to go to get the help that they need than it is to say, hey, we have a problem, let's work on fixing this. So I think that what Penn State needs to do first is take a good hard look at themselves and admit that we have a problem.